Hi, I'm Lee from South Africa. I've been in the coffee roasting industry for the last 17 years and learned quite a lot, I believe, from there. And I wanted to actually share with you an interesting thing that you can do instead of perhaps drinking regular instant coffee. Uh, I'm not sure if you're aware, but instant coffee is actually made in a big silo like this. So this is actually a pot of filter coffee, which is then freeze dried, and it's then insulated and put into obviously the packaging that you see. So that's essentially what most of instant coffee looks like. If you're looking at all these granules, you do get them in different formats, but that's mainly what it is. It's freeze dried. They will advocate to you that you should only use about half a teaspoon per cup, but we believe that that's actually a very small amount. If you look at adding water to this, you're going to get something that looks quite close to weak. So that's a small cup. So we're looking here at least adding a heaped teaspoon and a bit, make it 2, to make it a little bit more satisfying a cup. And that looks very rich and deep, almost close to an Americano if you were to go to a shop. I'm adding a little bit of milk so that you can get some idea of the difference in the colors. So this is the weaker half spoon one. And then this is the more Americano style. I'm just going to, if you look at that, I mean, it looks like coffee, I suppose, but it's not a deep, rich looking color as the one on the left would be. So essentially, if we were to make it with approximately 2 teaspoons per cup, we'd be talking about a cost of around 8 Rand per cup of coffee. But what you can do, and this is actually now quite simple, it's slightly more work, that's using a manual drip filter. This is a little ceramic cup thing. It lands on top of your coffee cup. You get a tiny little filter that slots in there, into which we'll add about the same amount of coffee as we did to get to that instant coffee effect. And simply what we need to do there is to pour water onto these grinds. This coffee is actually freshly roasted, so you see that it's bubbling nicely. It was roasted probably 3 or 4 days ago, and that's the big plus about getting quality roasted, freshly roasted coffee, particularly from a local micro roaster. And we let that steep a little bit in the filter. It goes through straight into the cup. You can smell the freshly roasted aromas of the coffee as it's all happening. There we go. You can see that it's dripping through nicely there. I'm just going to release this. And there you have a fresh cup of coffee. The big thing about it is that it's got a lovely red tinge or red rim to it. So it's just an indication of it being fresh, and I think that you will find that the taste is quite substantially different if you're prepared to go that little bit extra mile to make your own freshly roasted coffee at the office or at home. There you are. So these little manual filters, this is a ceramic one. You can get them in plastic. They range from about 150 to around 250 Rand per piece of apparatus. And obviously you do pay for the filters, but the filters last and go a very long way. So it's not an excessively expensive way of making a really good single cup of coffee that's quite different to an instant option.